Hey, good evening. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing my second entry into the Summer of John Green, which would be his second novel, An Abundance of Katherines. Boo-hoo. Okay, so, for a quick synopsis, quick rundown, essentially, the book follows a main character of Colin Singleton, who is a former child prodigy who has just graduated high school, and feels like he has accomplished nothing. He has wasted his prodigy status. Also, he feels down in the dumps because he's been dumped 19 times by girls named Catherine. He only dates Katherines. No Katrinas, no Kathys, no Katies, no Catherines with a C. Just Katherines. Hence, an abundance of Katherines. So the novel picks up with him graduating high school and being dumped by Catherine number 19. Quickly it picks up with his best friend Hassan, who's a bit of a couch potato, the typical lovable, funny, fat best friend who encourages him to go on a road trip to overcome his grief. So the two set out on a road trip, which leads them to the town of Gutshot, Tennessee, where they pull over to see the grave of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and is also where they meet a young girl named Lindsay Lee Wells, I believe, who is their tour guide and the daughter of the local, kind of like town boss. Lindsay's mother owns a factory that is the main source of employment for most of the residents of Gutshot, Tennessee, and has been for generations. It's a textile factory. Anyway, once they're there, hilarity ensues, adventure, self-discovery, and such. I don't want to ruin anything about the plot, so I will stop talking about it. As far as characters go, we have Colin, who's really smart, and is a prodigy, so he knows a lot about a lot, but is a little whiny and self-centered and a downer. I wasn't particularly bothered by it because it seemed like he did, as the novel goes on, start to learn and grow as a person. However, I have heard criticism of the book that Colin is whiny, and not much. Sorry, I had to take a break for a sneeze. Anyway, Colin, whiny, but smart. Learns throughout the novel, and I actually found him to be pretty funny, mostly when he was talking to his friend Hassan, who is another main character, and who is, I thought, hilarious. People have criticized that he's not funny, that he's not a dynamic character. I thought he was fully fleshed out. You could comment on the fact that, about his heritage or ethnicity, and maybe the fact that he is such a funny character, not very taken very seriously, is could be critiqued. I didn't think about it too much, but then again, that could just be my position, my blindness to the topic. Anyway, not to get too deep on that. Hassan's pretty funny. He's the typical fat kid. He makes a lot of jokes, and he was interesting. And the dynamic between Colin and Hassan is pretty close to what I've experienced with really good friends of mine who are guys. Just the back and forth, kind of making fun of each other, and how that all works. I really enjoyed. I think I enjoyed this book more than Looking for Alaska. And Looking for Alaska is much more popular, more talked about, more critically acclaimed, and generally more well-liked. A lot of people found this book boring because there's math involved, but the math isn't really that big of... I mean, it is a big part of the plot, but you don't really have to know anything about math. I'm terrible at math, and it didn't bother me. And I thought this book didn't have to rely on a mystery or a dark incident to address the themes that it was trying to address. So all in all, it was really fun read, really quick, and I think I actually enjoyed this more than Looking for Alaska. I would suggest this before that. So that is my review for John Green's An Abundance of Katherines. Now on to number 3, Paper Towns. I'm off to accomplish that mission, so as always, have a good life and enjoy reading. Look at the camera. So this is just a bonus shot. My puppy wanted to get into the frame. So look, say, Winston, oh!